What if I told you that there was a way to sell just about any type of product out there with Google Ads without having your merchant center permanently suspended or without having that product disapproved? Products that are in any type of gray area niche like liquor, adult toys, knives, or anything else that's closely related often have some of the biggest issues. But before we understand how to sell products like maybe these ones right here, where you're selling adult toys, or maybe you're selling certain types of liquor with Google Shopping, or maybe you're selling knives, or you're selling these products, which I'm not gonna name, but you read the title right here. You need to take a step back and look at an overview of how the Google Ads algorithm works. Basically, it understands your business, it understands your products based on what it sees on a very front end level. So what I mean by that is, for example, with this brand right here, an example brand, the way Google is gonna know that this brand is selling anything that's even liquor, or for example, anything at all, is by crawling through the website, looking at everything word by word to understand, number one, what your website is about, number two, if you abide by Google's policies, and number three, what kind of products you sell. That's why with so many new ad accounts, if you're to launch campaigns, it does not start spending any money in the first 1 to 3 weeks. And what that kind of brings me to is the way to work around the algorithm, the way to sell products like these, which basically for majority of the e-commerce store owners, it would be a non-existent niche to sell within, because the way that it's done is you're not supposed to be directly mentioning the product you're selling or that specific word, as I like to call it, a trigger word within the product titles, within the description, or just about anywhere on any of your pages. Because if you include the word liquor here, there's a very good chance this might have been suspended. Google's algorithm reads through everything word by word, letter by letter, to understand what you even sell. So that's really where Google gets a hint of whether you're selling in a gray area niche or not. And from there, it's up to you as to what strategy you implement of getting these products to actually show. We're gonna look at these examples one more time to see how majority of these brands are doing it. So of course, you will come across brands where they're just going across and doing exactly what you're not supposed to do, like this one right here. It's literally mentioned vibrator, which in Google's eyes is not allowed in shopping. But a lot of these things, it still allows it simply because, number one, Google's algorithm has kind of skipped over reading that part and it's not really done kind of understanding the business yet. Or number two, they have been running the brand for a very long time. Or of course, number three, they have followed the directions, which is you're not supposed to mention that word specifically. So for example, this right here, it's a funny toy breast. It says toy, which is why this product is allowed. And this one, it's some kind of game, which is an adult game. They don't even mention anything that's involved in here. Or maybe if we go on over to knife, now this is where you'll find both kind of spectrums, where some of these brands, they're directly saying what they sell, where other ones, they're not really mentioning what they're selling. But what I've personally come to realize is those brands that, number one, have been active on Google's platform for months and years, like Knife Country or Harbor Freight Tools, those are the brands where Google is a little bit more lenient on in terms of the rules. In addition to that, what you want to understand is kind of selling any type of product, and it's not only based on what you have on the front end level or what you say on the description side or with the titles, it's also what you do in the back end. You need to start by doing feed optimization. Proper feed optimization techniques include things such as looking into your Google Merchant Center and making sure you have all the proper settings in place, such as policies, shipping, etc. Those things you need to have, and everything else that Google Merchant Center wants you to provide, you better have, because that is the only way Google will start to trust your brand more. But in addition to that, you need to be taking care of any other type of product disapprovals you might be having, because on a very broad account level, there is something called the ad quality score, which Google takes into account to understand how your products are doing, how your ad account is, etc. And this is the strategy we use across my own brand as well as client brands under my Google Ads agency, Your Marketing, which if you're currently doing $40,000 or more per month in revenue, you need just a little bit of extra help scaling your brand to the next level. Go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and book a free call with me to see how we can potentially work together and make that happen. The reality is just about any type of product can be sold with Google Ads, as you saw with these 4 examples right here. It has more to do with the trigger words that you're using, and it has more to do with your overall funnel and approach that you are using. But keep in mind, even though majority of the products can be sold, there are still a lot of products which cannot not be sold, which are weapons and all sorts of things like that. And you should avoid selling those to avoid any type of legal issues. But make sure to go onto my website at yourmarketing.com if you're doing $40,000 or more per month in revenue and you want to scale to the next level with Google Ads.